Welcome to my channel.
Babe, this is getting really old.
Oh my god, it's my intro, and a lot of people like it.
I bet they do.
How are y'all doing today? Welcome to my channel. If this is your first time here, my name is Ruby Bellu, and this is my husband, Obina.
Yeah.
If this is your second or third time, you're a return viewer, I appreciate you. Thank you for coming back. So I have him here with me. Y'all said you wanted to see more of him, so he is here with me again, my dear
Yes.
my OKD,
Yes. Heal me. Heal me.
dear Corabia,
Yes. Heal me. More. Heal me.
Mwachi Mereze,
Yes.
Eza Fulukwe,
Absolutely. Ngwanu.
Owanetirora.
Yes. Oh yes. That's right.
That's right.
That's right.
So yes, I have him here with me, and we're going to be discussing something very important that we talk about all the time, and I'm sure a lot of you can relate. We're going to be talking about things that we will tell our younger self. So if we knew then what we know now, type of situation, type of vibes for our marriage and just life in general.
Yeah.
Things that we will tell our younger self. I'm
Yeah.
sure a lot of you can relate. You look back and you're like, wow, man, was I stupid?
I definitely was a knucklehead. I mean, if I could write a letter to my younger self, it would be a book. It would not. It would be a book.
So we're going to be discussing that today. Hopefully that inspires somebody and you learn a few things, or at least you can relate and say, yeah, I used to do that too. Anyway, don't forget to comment. Let's hear from you. Like this video, share, and subscribe. Subscribe. There's a little box. I think it's here.
Is it? It's
Right there. Just click it already. You know you like to see this beautiful face, so click it.
yeah.
How you guys doing today? I hope you're staying safe in this season. I hope you are having a good time like we are having. So today we're going to be talking about our past.
Yeah, we love talking about our past.
Just things that we will tell our younger self.
Notes to our younger self. So memoirs to our younger self. So if you had a conversation, or you could send a letter back in time to your younger self, what would you say? I know that some of you have probably thought about this. I've thought about it quite a bit, because I do have a number of things that I would tell my younger self. And yeah, I would probably knock him upside the head if I could meet him. But, yeah, there would be very poignant notes I would give to my younger self.
Yes.
I think he would love to hear that.
And we thought this would be an interesting topic, because I know a lot of people can relate to what we have to say today. And if you are younger, you can also learn from old people like him.
Yeah, babe. You're right behind me, you know, right?
So yeah, let's get started.
About life in general. Ooh. One of the things I will say to my younger self, follow your dreams. I think I will tell him to follow my dreams. I remember when I was a teenager, I had such a passion for basketball. I played basketball every single day. It was something that it was such an integral part of my growing up. My favorite basketball player was the late great Kobe Bryant, number 24, the Black Mamba. And when he passed away, that hit me on a whole other level. Many people who know me know I'm like a Kobe. I'm the biggest Kobe fan there is, or one of the biggest Kobe fans. I would say follow your dreams. I think I wanted to be a basketball player, but when I came to the United States, I was about 17 years old, and I majored in electrical engineering. It wasn't really something I was passionate about, not at all. I think it was something I did because I felt like that's what I had to do.
You must be an engineer.
Yeah, I must be an engineer. Go to school and be an engineer. So that was something that I feel, in my trying to conform and trying to be a certain kind of individual, provide for my future and all of that, you had to be an engineer. You had to go get a technical degree. And I spent so much time studying, because when you were in engineering school, you don't have time to do a lot of things, And it was one of those situations where I just spent too much time studying. And I felt like if I had spent time really working on my game and doing the things I needed to do, maybe things would have been different. Maybe I may or may not have made it to the NBA. I probably would have ended up playing in China or Europe or something, but at least I would have played professional basketball. And that's something that I really always saw myself doing. That didn't happen. So looking back at it, I would tell my younger self, focus on your dreams. Spend time in your younger years, investing in your dreams and doing the best you can to achieve them. That's what I would say.
Yeah. I completely agree. For me, what I would tell my younger self is find ways to invest. When we first got married, I had a little cute property. You remember my house in Knoxville? Yeah, I had a little cute property, and when we got married, I sold it and moved to Nashville. And when I moved to Nashville, I moved with a chunk of cash, and it was a lot of money for a 20-something-year-old. But as we all know, moving into a new city, trying to settle down and trying to find a new job and just settle in the city, I struggled that first year, and my savings depleted. And that is just something that I always think about. I've told you, right? I always think about it, and I'm like, man, if only I had invested the money I came with, or did something with it. I just, kept spending out of it, trying to figure myself out in this new city. So that would be my advice to my younger self, invest, because now we look at like investment portfolios and stuff like that, and we see like how much you can put into different investment accounts and stuff. And I'm like, man, all this money, if I had started then to invest, by now your girl will be, So I'm like, man, that would be my thing. Invest, think about long term and invest your money. Don't try to spend it on purses or shoes or things like that. Yeah.
I think investing is probably the most important thing, because especially if you're young. I can imagine investing or starting investing. If you, I believe it was in 2000, if you started investing, like say in Apple stock, for instance, right?
Yes.
In your 20s.
Right.
Right now, you will be not to say that that's not what you are, but you will be in a much better position now than, because it's worth so much more today than it was back then. And there's so many other types of stock you could have invested in back then that was this much. Even companies like say Tesla, Netflix, in our younger years, if we had just said, just put a little bit of extra cash in there instead of saving the money and hoarding it,
or spending
it, investing. That's one thing that I think is very important.
Yeah, or even like properties.
Or even property.
Because remember all those properties on Jefferson Road.
Yeah, they're worth so much more today.
There was so much more today.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Another thing I would say is invest, but invest in yourself. For me, I will invest in myself. By that I mean, I would take courses for things I'm passionate about. I was really passionate about writing. And I always felt like maybe I could have spent some time maybe going to like theater art school and getting some kind of degree in theater arts where I can maybe try to be a movie director or movie producer or something like that. I would have invested in that or invested in more of my creative side because I'm into music as well. Invested in music production, gotten a degree in, maybe learning to use, tools, production tools like Pro Tools and stuff like that. I think would have been very fun to do. And I definitely could have been able to, use those things practically in my life today.
Just learning a skill.
Learn a skill.
Yeah.
I maybe I could even instead of just getting a degree in engineering, I might have gone ahead and tried to learn to be an electrician so that I can actually learn to like wire a house and and I can make a trade out of that as opposed to hey, I went to college, now I gotta get a 9 to 5 job and sit behind a desk. I can actually use my hands if I want to, and I can be self-employed. I mean, I think that's the biggest form of self-investment you can make is the type of investment that can allow you to be financially free.
Yeah.
To where you can pick your own schedule, you don't have to work for anybody.
Yeah.
So one thing I learned is a college degree would get you a job, while a vocation would probably help you to earn a living for the rest of your life, where you don't have to work for anyone. So, I mean, to each his own, but I think you want to give yourself that option. So invest in yourself.
Yeah. Well, another thing that I would tell my younger self is not to worry about what people say or what people think about you. When you're younger, you always seek validation and you always wanted acceptance or approval from everybody you meet.
Yeah.
As you get older, you realize that your validation comes from God and your acceptance and approval comes from God. And He's accepted you, He loves you, and that should be enough. So that's what I will tell my younger self. Just be okay with who you are and don't try to prove yourself to people. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Don't try to prove yourself to people. Be confident in who you are, who God has made you to be. That would be something. Would you agree?
I would agree with that. I think I would agree with that. I think that spurs us to do a number of different things, right? There's all kinds of pressures that we face as young people, for within our culture, right? In a woman's case, it's the pressure to get married, right? For the man, it's the pressure to get a job and get settled, quote unquote, and start a family. There's a different kind of pressure. And in my case, the pressure was really, I think, for me to, start a career. When I graduated from college in 2006, I got my bachelor's. I was so, eager to get into the workforce. When, I was still young. I mean, there was still so much life to live. I could have done so many different things. I could have traveled. I could have, taken 1 or 2 courses here and there. I could have really done things that I really was passionate about. But I was so focused on trying to get a job, and then, I got a job, at one point, and then I lost it. And remember that whole episode. So, I was heartbroken. I got depressed. I remember I was depressed for a few months there. And then, I eventually was able to get back on my feet and then start doing something with my life. When you're young, there's so much life to live, and it's important to have a focus of what you want to do in life, but it's also important to live in the moment, and do what you want to do what you're passionate about so that you don't lose that time. Because once life starts, that's it started. That's what I would say to my younger self about just life in general. So, the question I would ask you is, what would you say to your younger self about marriage?
Okay, so for marriage, I would say to my younger self, enjoy your spouse before having children and just travel. That would be what I would advise my younger self. Have fun and travel, because in our situation, we tried to conceive, and in that time I was just worried. Is this gonna happen? I want to be a mom. I want to start having children. When I could have just used that time to travel, explore, go different places, and looking back now, knowing that it was in God's plan all this time for me to be a mom of 4 children. If I knew then that I was gonna eventually be a mom of 4 children, I would have just, enjoyed the time when I had no children until they started coming. So
Yeah.
that would be one thing. Just relax as a newly wed. Just relax and just enjoy the moment. And then if it happens, when it happens, because it's going to happen when it happens, then you can, transition into motherhood.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think, again, there's pressures everywhere, external pressures. And when you spend time thinking about, oh, what is, I want people to, people are expecting me to start having kids, so I want to have kids. And it's like, you're young. I mean, enjoy yourself, travel the world, jump from an airplane or something, jump into the Atlantic and,
Not that kind of fun.
Yeah, I like that kind of fun.
No.
With a life jacket though, like I wouldn't. But anyway, but I would say for me, I think it would be forgive quickly. Just learning to not sweat the small stuff. When we first got married, it was like everything was a bone of contention. It was like, oh, is it my way? Is it your way? And we'd argue about stuff, and sometimes we'd argue for days. And we would go 3, 4, 5, 6 days, sometimes a week without talking to each other. It's like so silly, over silly stuff. So I would say to my younger self, hey, snap out of it. Whatever it is that you're worried about, you guys haven't even hit the surface. Like y'all are married. Like, but look, listen, if you can still go and look at your wedding dress, or you're looking at your wedding pictures and you're really excited about and happy about what people think about your wedding, yeah, you haven't seen anything about marriage. If you still are like jiving to your wedding music and stuff like that, yeah, you haven't seen anything marriage.
Yeah, does it happen to you like now when you see wedding videos, you're like,
I just
oh
roll
my
eyes,
god?
like I'm one of those people, like I really don't care. Let's see, look, if you invite me for a
It
wedding,
gets to a point where all the wedding stuff just looks so cheesy. You're like, oh my god, but yeah.
I think this is just what do you call it, senioritis. We're going to senioritis right now. But no, like it gets to a point when you're married. You've been married for so long where when you look back at weddings, or someone invites you for a wedding, you're just like, really,
But
because it's so cheesy. But you have to celebrate other people. So I try to be supportive. I really do. But,
but you're the most cynical.
I'm very cynical.
You're
when it comes to that. Now she, on the other hand, loves love. She's very cheesy. She loves romanticism and all that. But look, I could care less. Like, look, you're not even married. That's how I see it. No. Really though. Like I think marriage is a beautiful thing. I think it's when it's done right, it's a beautiful thing. I think there's a tendency for people who have been married a long time to give off this vibe that, marriage is miserable, or there are people that think, oh, you get married and you get miserable. No, you can actually have fun in your marriage.
Yeah.
You can actually have fun, and you can actually do things. I saw a status from one of my buddies, and he said something about. He said, "What do married people do together? Do y'all just like pay taxes and then check each other's phones?" I thought that was funny, but no, that's not what we do.
But
and then all the married people were like, no, we really have fun. Almost like they're trying to convince him that they have fun in their marriage.
but if you think about it though, you pay taxes.
You pay taxes and you check each other's
And
phone.
you check-
You actually do. But no, we don't really check each other. We actually use each other's phones.
Yeah, we're not checking the phone. We're actually using each
yeah.
other's phone.
I would say don't sweat the small stuff. Yeah. Another thing that I would say is do not or never involve third parties in your marriage. Never,
Ooh,
ever,
yes.
ever involve third parties.
Yes.
Don't share what's going on in your marriage with people, because not everybody is wise enough to give you wise advice. Even people
Be neutral.
or be neutral, right? If you share information with your family, oh my goodness, and about your spouse with your family, oh my goodness, you don't want to do that. That's just no, you don't do that. Like whatever you're dealing with your spouse, you deal with your spouse. Except your spouse is beating you, then you go and share and tell somebody. But beyond that, you guys work out whatever is going on. If you have to see a counselor, both of you together. But don't involve third parties. Don't take advice from look, y'all ladies, like, don't be going to the store asking your single friends who ain't got a man, who bitter because some man done left them. Don't go ask your auntie that, then got dumped by some dude when she was 25. Now she's 65 and bitter. And she giving you all the venom that she need to give you to try to get you to break up with your man. You better not do it. You don't. So I would tell myself, my younger self, do not involve third party.
Don't involve your family members, and you need to talk about that too. You can't just.
I already talked about that.
You can't talk about the ladies without talking about the men.
No, the man. Okay, well, involve your mama. Don't involve your papa. Don't get anybody involved in your marriage. Don't let nobody give you advice about how you're to behave towards your spouse. No. You resolve whatever you need to resolve among yourselves or between yourselves. And if you can't do that, get a counselor.
Yes.
Get a professional counselor.
Let it be a trusted mentor.
Trusted mentor.
Trusted mentor that is neutral.
Neutral. Yeah, and people love to say go to your pastor. Listen, I'm not one to, the pastor is not a licensed counselor, bottom line.
Yeah.
And you're going to find out as you get older, oh my God, as you get older, you're going to find out as you get older that a lot of religious advice in marriage is really not practical. And it's important that your foundation is in the word, but you need to know how to apply the word correctly. If you're a Christian, that is. If you're going to use someone who has a biblical foundation, they also have to have practical understanding of how to apply those things in a way that is functional and that is practical to your marriage. So I will be careful with that. Definitely see Christian counseling is great, who is a professional counselor, someone who has actually done the work and invested in themselves in that way. Don't take advice from every pastor because,
no.
Well, I guess your younger self was really wise. If you only had, because I have a whole bunch of things I want to talk about your younger self.
Spill, because I want to hear.
Wow. Well, I would say, be more patient. I think I'd be more patient with myself in terms of achieving my goals. Be more patient with my spouse. I would be more patient with you. I was very impatient. I was always thinking about the future, always anxious for what's going to happen next, and never really enjoying the moment.
I remember when you used to do that.
Oh my gosh. Okay, yeah.
I remember. It was such a long time ago, but I remember when you used to do that. It's like, what's next? I'm like, can you just enjoy the moment?
Yeah. I remember when you used to hold grudges for like 2 weeks. Remember that?
I do.
Yeah. Okay, good.
Yes, but I've talked about it in one of the videos.
Let's talk about it again. Because she would get mad. Like, she stayed mad. She would stay mad for like 2 weeks. I'm like, when, she stayed mad so long, she don't even remember why she mad.
Yeah.
I said, why you mad? She's like,
Yeah, I
I'm
don't
just mad.
remember, but I know you just
Yeah.
you need to stay away from me. But I'm mad. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was horrible.
Yeah.
That was toxic.
That was really toxic.
Yeah.
babe.
I changed.
Yeah. I'm glad you changed.
I changed for you. Oh my goodness. Yeah. So don't hold grudges. That's what I'll
Don't
tell
hold
my
grudges.
younger
Don't hold
self.
grudges.
Don't
Forgive.
hold grudges. Forgive quickly. Life is sweet.
Yeah.
And you want to enjoy your spouse, you know.
Yeah, it's been good hanging with you again. I really wanted to go to sleep, but she wanted me to come and record. You see? And then look how made up she is. Look at me. Look how I look.
You
I
look
was
great.
I was about to go to sleep.
You look great.
Okay, baby.
They want to see you.
No, they want to see you.
No, I promised them you weren't coming back. And they private messaged me.
You probably should have stayed that way.
They private messaged me that no, they really like the video we did together and they want you to come back and this and that and the other.
I really appreciate
So,
I appreciate
yeah.
I appreciate you wanting
So
to see
you
me again.
become the star of the show
Oh my
because
gosh.
they want to see you, babe. They say your facial expressions are priceless. The way you
they're
roll your eyes
When I roll my eyes, right?
and your lazy eye.
I don't have a lazy eye. Stop it.
You totally do.
No, she's been trying to convince me that I have a lazy eye.
You have a lazy
I think
eye.
I would know if I had a lazy eye. Like,
Go watch the video. No.
I'm looking at the camera. Am I not looking at it? See, there's no lazy eye. There
This
isn't.
one is lower than the I'm sorry.
All right, whatever, babe. Okay, can I go now?
Huh?
Can I go now?
You should be patient with your spouses.
I need to go sleep. I'm tired.
Alright guys, so this was fun, reminiscing and talking about things we've learned over the years. I hope I hope you can relate or it inspires you if you are younger. So, alright, we'll see you next time. Ciao.
Ciao.